part 5 of the CV2 any percent tutorial, the Blob boost. Coming out the mansion, you should have Rib and Dagger equipped, so just talk to the boy. You need Heart equipped only the first time you speak to him, not the second time. And it's important to note, because he will get you to different locations if you have or haven't Heart equipped. You can also try to kill the enemies here if you want to for extra hearts, but I would generally recommend against it, because sometimes the game recognizes that as speaking to the boy, resulting in a time loss. That's the optimal way of doing the speed boost, is by landing on that platform level right there. If you don't land on that level, it's fine, it's still a speed boost and a time save as a result. But that's the optimal way of doing it. This guy will exchange the blue crystal for the red one, which you need. It's also the last of the crystals. White, blue, red. This screen right here is completely random, so just have fun with that. Wow, that was lucky. Kill, kill, nothing fancy. Should be worth mentioning that those dragon pillars can shoot projectiles at you, which is partially the reason we have Rib equipped, but it should generally never be an issue, unless you're slow like a snail. Visual for the next screen. Just jump, whip, hold down. Easy peasy. No random movement here, so just do what I do, basically. Otherwise, it'll cost you, boy. I'm telling you, it will cost you. So jump, drop, jump, jump. And we got 2 glitched blocks here, but you can still walk over them. Transition, then jump over. Don't get hit by that first hand. Wonky hitboxes. But generally, dagger, dagger. As you land, dagger. Random dagger on the blob. Skeleton. Random dagger on the next blob. Missed him. Still sorta got through. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But the blobs generally is always a random enemy, regardless of screen. And try not to toss over him. That's perfect. That is perfect. That's pretty much what you want or hope for. But sometimes the daggers will miss the blob, and either you will just have to avoid them completely by progressing on the screen, or you will just kill them with a whip or another dagger. Dealer's choice. But the given rule here is that we will use the dagger here. We will not go through the screen with whip. It's up to you, however you want to play, but the general idea is to use the dagger. Now on these boys, you can actually... And for the sake of it, just gonna showcase here, the height on my head is touching the edge there. But if I add a whip to it, I will add a couple of frames above it. This is required for the blob boost. Holding left on the D-pad is not a requirement, but every time he hits you and the blob boost doesn't get you up there, he will align you to the right and you will have to realign to the left. So I would just hold left during the entire process. The blob itself is partially, I think, based on a global timer and partially on your movement, so you can never manipulate him. RNG is a big factor for trying to get through here, but also execution. You have to time it pretty well. The idea is for him to boost you on the back end leg there. And this is generally how we do it, it's just to try to time it from here. Which can be a pain to recognize. It's not visually the most easiest trying to recognize the pattern and time it when he's beneath you. That's how I think how the majority of the people do it. So once you get up there, just hold left and go right, and you're at the mansion. Easy peasy. What some people like to do is give it one shot, bam, failed, and then try to kill it, and respawn it again. And the reasoning behind this is because some people find it visually a lot easier trying to have him spawn from the right. And partially because it should in theory save some health. But I can't really comment. I mean, it's both RNG regardless, so it doesn't really matter. You do what you do. I personally think respawning him ultimately gives you fewer chances on a time frame, so it probably will end up costing you a lot more time. But maybe tactically better if you're already low on health and risk a game over. I don't know. But generally I would probably just keep trying to go for the random jumps when he's beneath you. It's a run killer if you game over, because you will lose all your hearts. Also, don't take that heart count I have too seriously. I grinded a lot extra just for the sake of it, showcasing this tutorial. You are hoping to have 90 hearts coming in here, preferably 100, 110, maybe 120. Partially because, as you see me, like, you need 90 hearts minimum for this mission. But as you also saw me, I did use some daggers the screen prior coming here, so 90 plus hearts is still something you hope to get. Right, so Blob Boost. This is the any percent route. JC routed it in some year ago, so you can blame him. The given rule is, if you want the top time in any percent, you need a Blob Boost. There's no way around that, you need a Blob Boost for top time in this category. If you don't want the Blob, do glitchless. That being said, you can do any percent without the Blob, but you're never going to be able to get really competitive in it. Paul's 3652 did not contain the Blob Boost. That's a very old route before we found out that we could use the Blob. But any percent can be done without Blob. Paul's run was very optimized, but we have found some new techs since in regards of extra floor drops and whatnot. So you could theoretically beat it, even though it's a very good time, very optimized time. New tech will allow you to, in theory, even if you decide against the Blob for any percent, you could theoretically get sub 37 a lot easier than Paul did. But not much higher than that, or lower in this fact. I would say generally, if you do not want a Blob, play glitchless. But it's up to you. Everyone have their own goals. But for top times in this category, Blob is needed, hands down. Completely RNG, and if you're game overing, that's ripped from. Done. A good Blob will get you past within 20-25 seconds. A bad Blob will, well, be bad. Or straight up just kill the run. There's no nice way around it. Practice won't really help you either. It's just hope for the best. Have fun!